like several like 100 feet underneath and shooting up like from like a monster POV, and also when you're just on the water looking down and it just dissolves into blackness. Like, you should be 10,000 feet of water underneath. And what the hell is that? Especially in Middle Earth, who knows? Fucking Balrog,
right?
Kraken.
Speaking of things that you can barely see, I think I forgot to talk about this in the last episode, but when the ship was headed to Valinor, I'm looking at that and I think I almost see something through the light. Am I crazy to say like you can kind of see something there?
What was it? Because I didn't. I thought it was all Sylvania universe. It's just all bright daylight, you know, coming through. I
was looking down the bottom left corner of it, and I thought I saw some kind of land, some kind of structure. It's impossible to make out, though.
I mean, it's all there. Like, if Valinor is a continent that has buildings and halls and towers and all that stuff, you know, it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's not like a cloud city or something.
I wasn't aware that like Valinor. Do we see it in Lord of the Rings? Because I know Frodo ends up going there.
No, Gandalf describes when he's trying to give Pip a shot in the arm in the eve of the last battle, and like Pippin asks him like what it's like to die, and Gandalf's the little poem that he recites there is essentially a description of going to the blessed lands, and they describe it as like, you know, this silver scrape. I don't know.
And I guess we see it at the beginning, the very opening of this series, right? So they do show a city there. Yeah. But
now that was back when the trees were in there, and they're now like, I think lamps, or there might even be something. I think we just have like a sun and a moon. That's one of the questions also for the lore hounds is like, when did we get the sun and the moon? Because obviously that's a thing now. We saw the both in last episode. But yeah, I don't know. I got some question marks about that stuff myself.
Okay. Let's head back over to Khazad Dûm. Elrond gives up the competition, and he asks Durin to escort him to the exit for his banishment, which he does. And during the ride to the surface, Elrond tries to come to terms with his friend who he hasn't seen in 20 years. And that's tough. And he apologizes for missing Durin's wedding and the birth of his children, essentially his whole life here, and asks to apologize directly to his wife. So Durin relents there. And when he does, Durin's wife, Disa, I don't know how I say it.
I think it's Disa.
Disa invites him to stay for dinner. And during dinner, with the help of Disa, Elrond and Durin patch things up enough that Durin will hear Elrond's proposal.
Yeah, and Disa's not pissed off. She's just happy to see, because clearly, as pissed off as Durin is, as hurt, not mad, as hurt as Durin is about how Elrond has treated him, he clearly talks about him all the time. Like, his beloved tree is the centerpiece of his living room. Like I said, it's not anger, it's hurt, you know?
Yeah, what's the point of not healing this, right? I mean, you can hold this grudge and you can be angry at your friend, or you can say, yes, you've missed so much. Let me tell you about it. Let me, you know, I don't know.
I think there's because like also what Elrond's done is not cool. Like, if you're going to hang around and be best buds with your species, you know, you're going to live for 5,000 years. Dwarves live for a long time, 200-300 years, but like you know, a fraction of what you're going to get. You're going to have to, you know, it's just kind of like when you were an introverted friends with an extrovert. You're going to have to go to a party every once in a while. Like you know, and I think that like Elrond genuinely, you know, again, it's a blink of an eye. He's been busy, but like, you know, he needs to keep in mind that this stuff is important to mortals.
Totally, and I feel for both sides here, you know, because like. If you're the extrovert, you also need to understand that the introvert isn't going to go to all your parties, right?
Well, the other thing,
push and pull there.
The other thing we find out that makes all these scenes make a lot more sense in retrospect is apparently the dwarves are on the cusp of a discovery of their own. And the fact that he is showing up right at this time where I think what you're supposed to understand is they've discovered a vein of mithril, this near magical impervious metal. That's my guess of what the MacGuffin is. The Pulp Fiction briefcase
for that is World of Warcraft. So
Oh well, so okay, so in the Fellowship, that vest that Frodo wore that kept him from getting that's spider. A mithril vest.
Yeah. Okay.
And protect
him from the spider, right? From
well,
Cyclob or whatever the spider's name. Shelob.
Honestly, that's the thing. Like I think I talked about that on the podcast we did. It's like I don't understand how Shelob stung him through that mithril. Like it doesn't seem like
it should protect him, right?
It didn't. It should have. But it didn't. Of course, Shalob's a near myth. She's like a Gandalf in power. Like she's you're supposed to understand that she's a literal demon in the form of a monster spider. So maybe it can't stop supernatural shit. But anyway, I think what they're hinting at.
I get to with fantasy stuff, man. You got to be consistent.
You got to know
and you got to tell me what's going on too. I can't just assume. Well, demons can penetrate this armor and.
That's high fantasy, baby. They like to keep it a little, but no, I think that like that's what the other. It's not he's just pissed or he's hurt, but he's also skeptical, and clearly his father's wary, and he's like, "Oh, your elf friend is back now when we've just made this discovery, and they're wanting to steal what we got." And you can see some of that in the dialogue. Like I thought some of it was funny. It's like, I've asked for nothing except for your ear. Oh, that's how it always starts with elves. And then it's the thumb in your eye. Elves for elves. It's always like he just goes on this little mini elf, dwarf elf rant. And I love it. I was smiling so much.
Yeah, this whole scene is great. I mean, Disa is awesome, actually. My absolute favorite, the most adorable moment in these entire 2 episodes is the kids running around in those giant hats, those giant dwarf heads.
You boss, get out of my heads.
I told you not to play with my heads. Yeah, it's so funny. They look so cute.
The only thing that'd be funnier is if he pronounced head the way that Mike Myers' father pronounces it in Kill an Axe Murder. Heed, get out of my heeds. It's super funny.
Yeah, I love it.
And also, I just want to take a time out to talk about how much ink was spilled over the fact that Disa is a little darker skinned than we're expecting for elves, and she doesn't have a beard, and this can't be like man, she's a great character, and I instantly got to her and Durin were in love. They're super sweet together. Her playing the conciliatory here. She's even got. Did you notice she got the skin scruff, the chin scruff?
All right.
She's got like what I would call like almost lamb chops, almost to like an Amish chin strap of a beard, because like that's
just the way she keeps it.
Yeah, and like I don't know. I get so fed up with any kind of lore purists that don't want anything ever to change. Like we've never seen dwarves from thousands of years ago at the height of their power. Like they're all weird and kind of reclusive in the Third Age, and they're hiding their women, and I've never seen dwarf children, but this is the height of their power in their home, of course. Like this is new shit's coming to light, man, and it's glorious. I feel sorry for you fucks that are not want to watch the show because there's a black elf and a black dwarf, and maybe the dwarf women aren't as hairy as you think they should be based on a joke that Gimli's telling in the Lord of the Rings. Goddamn. Anyway.
Yeah, it's complete bullshit. I mean, this gatekeeping crap sucks too. Like, I read the Lord of the Rings when I was a teenager, and I read the Silmarillion, and I read all the other appendices. And so I'm going to go give it a 1 star when the show is clearly fucking awesome. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got an 84% Rotten Tomatoes score from critics.
Which feels low, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I could understand some people.
But it's not everyone's cup of tea. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But 37% from an audience score. Really? This is a 37% show?
They've done review. They got review bombed by a bunch of shitters is what's happened there.
Exactly. Get the fuck over yourselves. Come on. Do you quit this gatekeeping stuff? Why do you want more? Why do you not want more of a good thing that you love? And if you don't love it, it doesn't change the original. So go fucking read your books again. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Like I said, there's ways you can ruin this show for sure. It's just, Disa's not it. Yeah.
No, they didn't ruin it for me, certainly. But, I'm not a true Tolkien fan, so obviously I wouldn't get it. Obviously. So let me ask you this. There's clearly a theme of, light and dark. I mean, that is pretty obvious. This tree, I think, is interesting because the tree of light, I don't know what it's called, but at some point it goes out, right? In the elven realms.
Well, so this is a different tree than the the sun and moon trees that were in Valinor.
I thought it was a sapling.
This is no. So this is like
tree.
It's a
seedling from that
so
tree.
this man, because I'm not. This is another one to ask the lorehounds, but like. Trees are a big thing in Middle Earth because of the great trees. The 2 great trees were destroyed by Morgoth, the enemy. I think the white tree in Gondor is like somehow related to those old trees, and I think this tree in Lind, like these are all kind of like children of those one trees that everyone loved and admired and remembered.
Okay.
I think that there's something there, and this is kind of like in the same way that like and Lothlórien and Galadriel's kingdom and fellowship, they got those big melon trees that they literally are like carving into their palaces and stuff. The in Linden they have those. This is the linden kind of heart tree, you know.
Oh, okay.
So like there's some kind of connection there, but it's not literally these are the sun and moon tree that they had back in Old Valinor.
All right. Well, never mind. I thought this was like some keeping the light alive kind of thing, but
yeah,
apparently not. You know what we are going to keep doing, though? We're going to keep swimming. We're going to keep rafting. Galadriel, still on the sea. Halbrand mentions that he was chased from his home by orcs, which catches Galadriel's attention. She asks where he's from, and he says it's the Southlands. And she tells him that he's going to take her to the orcs, but he has other plans. And so does the storm that's raging just ahead of them.
Yeah, when you're supposed to hear the like orc theme when the Southlands are mentioned, because that's where all the bad shit's happening right now. And
yeah, that's where Aaron Deer.
Did you? I mentioned this on the Instant Talk with the Lorehounds. I love how they reduced all of sailing this little junk to Galadriel just tugging this rope. She's just like, I don't know what this fucking rope does, but she's tugging it. It's got a little pulley on it. It's attached to this little spar. She tugs it. The spar adjusts position. She drops it. She picks it up. She screams at Haldir. What's his name? Halbrand. She picks it up. She tugs it more. She tugs it again. Like there's everything that you need to do on this vessel is just tugging this rope, and Galadriel is just doing it.
I assume she's tugging on the rope for the rudder. And she is the sail? She's catching the wind with her body? I don't know, man.
As an amateur sailor, it didn't make much sense to me, but it's almost like intentional comedy. Yeah. Everything else is staged so well that is that clearly they didn't have anything on this green screen for her to interact with, but this one rope, and she's like, by God, I'm going to weave this into my performance.
Yeah. I do wonder what his plan is. You know, it might not matter now that they're being picked up by some random ship, but
get her to tug his rope.
Jeez.
Plan is working to perfection thus far.
Apparently. All right, let's head over to Bronwyn running back to her town and telling the innkeeper for some reason. Is he the town's?
He's the town's butcher, chief, bartender, innkeeper. He's got the medicine woman running stuff out the back. He's like, yeah, this guy's connected.
I guess so. I guess the inn is the place to go for if you want to speak to their leader.
Which honestly, like the public house, that's a hallowed tradition in the UK, which is essentially Middle Earth. So I buy it, you know?
I suppose.
This is the pub. This is your local pub.
Anyway, she tells this guy what she saw in Horden, but he won't hear it without proof. And meanwhile, her son hears the rats in the floorboards again and cracks them open to find something staring back at him.
Ooh, that was that was cool. I like that. Just like that little, you know, it was coming, but that little jump scare of the goblin orc putting its face right in a crack and you see its dead mackerel eye. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And now that we see these orcs in this town as well, you get the sense that they're searching for the sword fragment that was buried in the barn. At least that's what I got from it.
Yeah, and I don't know a lot about Tolkien languages, but they kept on calling this Elvish tower Ost Tirith. And I know that like Minas Tirith is like Tirith is Elvish, I think, for tower. Okay. Like Minas Tirith is the Tower of Guard that's built like right on the border of Sauron. Ost Tirith, I wonder if that means literally just Southern Tower.
Oh, could be.
Because it's looking out of the Southlands. I'm wondering if John knows anything about that.
He might. We'll have to tune in to find out.
Yeah, and also you can see from the men's like the she's like, hey, this evil's coming our way. And the elves aren't even here anymore, but the men are kind of like, fuck the elves, Yankee go home kind of business.
Sure.
It's the best of times, it's the worst of times.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm all for evidentiary beliefs. So
sure.
Good on this guy.
It's an extraordinary claim you're putting up there, Bronwyn.
Mm-hmm. All right, Arondir makes his way through the tunnel when he sees a claw in the wall and some creatures approaching. And he tries to escape, but he's grabbed by one of the creatures.
I'll be done soon.
And then Bronwyn arrives home to find her son hiding from an orc. She also tries to hide from it, but it finds them and she has to fight it. She ends up beheading it and then taking it over to the innkeeper as proof.
I think pretty quality horror scenes. Like that shot of, I think it's always creepy to be like commando crawling into an ever decreasing radius tunnel underground.
Mm-hmm.
And then you slide in the water. It's like I was getting, what's that cave movie about the women? The Descent. I was getting some Descent vibes from this. And then he's like, gets up, he's got a sword out, like, all right, this is a tough elf, he can take anything. And then like 8 hands from behind just grab him and Shanghai him.
I love how the hands are already there in the shot. You just didn't know they were hands.
I find that so creepy. They do.
Yes.
M. Night Shyamalan did that to perfection in Signs, where it's like it's there all along and then it just moves a fraction of an inch and then it goes black and it's like like that is the prime hair on the back of my neck stander upper.
It's the kind of vibe that like Del Toro gets a lot from his stuff. Like that.
Jordan Peele did that to perfection
sight.
in Nope a couple times too. Which was a high quality horror movie from this summer.
For sure.
We did a podcast on it. Check it out. Bald Move. Nope.
So she throws a bottle of the flower petals that she gave to Arondir earlier, the crushed flower petals, at the orc, and it kind of seems to like, it really pisses it off more than it probably should. Is there some reason why the orcs don't like that stuff?
I don't know, because like I was wondering if they were getting to, because the way that sounded like is it sounded like aspirin. It's like, was this kind of pain and like is like, because like a lot of times in high fantasy, things that heal will hurt evil creatures, undead creatures. Like, a life spell will kill a zombie. I wonder if they're playing with that. Like, this is something that relieves pain in humans and it causes pain in like the evil orcs because they're like twisted, corrupted version of elves and men. I don't know.
Kind of what I was thinking.
Or it could be he's like, oh god, a magic vial, and then he's like, oh, it's actually fine. Now I'm gonna kick your ass in.
Yeah, I wish I didn't take my helmet off.
It's like someone throwing a grenade at your foot, and you'd probably scream and duck, but then it's a dud, and it's like,
Yep.
But totally. This guy dies poorly. Let it be said. He gets stabbed with these giant pairs of fucking wrought iron scissors. Bronwyn runs him through with this wicked saw, like this barbed saw. The kid
pulls it out,
ropes him up.
It was bad. Sorry.
Yeah, the kid ropes him up and strangles him. Like he gets the full Braveheart treatment, man. And then she comes and beheads him at the end. And he says, freedom. And I started feeling sorry for the guy.
All right, let's do another raft scene, I guess. Because why not? Galadriel.
Oh, wait, we mentioned the fact that, like, I thought it was awesome, Bronwyn, like, taking that severed head and flopping up on the barns. Like, look, you fuckers. This is what's coming for us. We got to run.
And to their credit, they're not like, we still don't believe you. We don't want to go. They end up running. So,
and I love how she phrased it, because she's not saying we got to go. She's saying, I'm making for the tower at first light. Anyone who wants to live is welcome to come with me. Yeah. She's not
come
waiting
with me
on these.
if you want to live.
Exactly.
Is what she says.
Hits him with the T-800.
All right, let's go to another raft scene. Galadriel and Halbrand almost drown in the storm, but they save each other. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know, Galadriel. Like, you're on a raft and you're tying yourself. Like, this is all gorgeous and beautiful and it's really cool, but I wondered about the mechanics of it. She's tied to 2 pieces of wood and like a pulley. That pulley must weigh 500 pounds.
Is she knocked out? Is that what happens? Because
it does always. She got a bolt of lightning hit her. Even for an elf, that's a lot.
There was some slight weirdness here. Like, she gets knocked out. She's being dragged to the bottom by this pulley. Halbrand jumps in there and pulls her to the surface. But when they get to the surface, she's just awake and alive and no problem. Like,
and welcomes him back on the raft. Yeah, it was weird.
It didn't make a lot of sense in that moment. She probably should have stayed passed out until she got on the raft. But
my headcanon says this pulley was so sick and tired of her yanking it around that she's like, I'm on it. I got you now, bitch. I'm drowning you. You yanked me for you yanked me for the last time.
Yeah, could be. All right, let's go to Nori and Poppy going out to see Crater Man, Sky Guy, Meteor Man, if you will. They release the fireflies from their lantern, and Meteor Man uses them to overlay a constellation on the night sky. Nori thinks that she can find that constellation. Unfortunately, his star shenanigans killed the fireflies.
So this is where I got like I'm getting some Gandalf vibes from just his general disheveled look and like the robes he's wearing, and then the whispering into the insect's ear. That's a total Gandalf move.
Yeah, but killing them.
But he does. So at the end, does he look like he's sad or malicious at the end? Because I thought it was pretty like he's sad that this happened, and like, is this happening because the whole land is covered in a sickened darkness, like the Gandalf would talk about in Fellowship? Is this happening because he ensorcelled them and sucked their life out of them? I don't
all this stuff
know.
Is happening at the same time, so it's like, what is linked here, what isn't? I think it's an interesting stew that they're creating here.
And I get it. Like,
how to decipher it.
The end of last episode is pretty conclusive with him coming down and the symbol of Sauron, all right? The big flaming eye. But I'm, also I think there's
the idea that the fire is not warm around him is directly connecting him to that chamber in the first episode. So, yeah.
But again, from what I got questions. I got questions based on what I know of the lore and what I've heard the last few weeks in the Lore Hounds about how, if this is Sauron, how do we get to the place in the story we need to get? Or maybe this is an evil guy. He's not Sauron.
Sure, could be.
But then, who? So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, it's one of the key mysteries here. All right, let's go over to Prince Durin and King Durin, which is going to be fucking confusing. Should I just call one Peter Mullen?
Wait, is they both Durin? I thought one was Durin and someone else was like Balin or something.
I looked it up. They're both Durin, according to Amazon X-Ray. And maybe they're wrong about that, but you got the double Durins here discussing Elrond's proposal and some kind of secret that they're keeping. To that effect, they open a box containing something that we don't get to see.
But it glows with a silvery light. It's like I said, the Pulp Fiction case, except for gold, it's platinum or silver. Like I said, my guess is this is, because you learn from Lord of the Rings that the elves eventually fucked themselves in Khazad-dûm and in the mines of Moria because they found the mithril and they just kept on digging and digging and digging, and they dug too deep. They got too lost in the sauce. And found the flaming hot Balrog Cheeto coming out of the cracks at him. I like this scene. I like the wary old king, and it gives you the like, oh, it's not just the hurt feelings. It's also his dad kind of putting him up to this, and he's saying, yeah, I know Elrond. He couldn't keep a secret from me. I could tell if he's hiding something. Well, maybe Elrond knows you just as well, and he can. And that I like all these expressions. Like there's lend a foot is what the Harfoot say. Lend me a foot instead of lend me a hand. I like how the dwarves have these sayings like there can be no trust between the hammer and the rock. Mm-hmm. That's fucking cool.
Maybe there's a little sandstone in your granite when it comes to Elrond.
Yeah, you got a little sandstone in your granite. Yeah, like there's a little weakness there. It's not the pure, hard, yeah, there's some cool shit going in here with the different cultures that I really, really like.
Absolutely. Did you recognize Peter Mullen playing the king here?
I did not. I feel
like there's a lot of good opportunity for all the way down, dug too deep jokes that we're going to get in the future. So I'm hoping to see more of him. Yeah,
when you find a baller, I'm all the way down now, Durin. Sometimes you don't know if you're looking up at the water and if there's a starlight looking at you or it's just reflected from the darkness. This is all a bunch of obscure Westworld jokes. For the 5 or 10 of you that followed us from there, that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. We could do train spotting jokes if you want.
Yeah, true. Was he Mother on Train Spotting? Is that his name, Mother?
Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah, he's definitely in that. Anyway, let's go over to Bronwyn's son, Theo, I think is his name.
Yep, Theo.
He's packing up the sword as it sucks up his blood and ignites. And
this kid, we're fleeing this evil. You know what? Better pack my Morgul sword that's draining me my life force to reforge its own blade. Holy shit, this kid is dumb.
So here's the question for you. Does he leave it behind or does he bring it with him? Because as they're leaving, he looks over his shoulder at the barn. And I don't know if that's like saying, hey, he left it there.
That's a good. I assumed he brought it with because that's going to like these. They can't get away. Like they're like, why are the orcs following us? Why are the orcs following us? But there's something. You don't think Meteor Man's Theo's dad, is it? Because they're definitely introducing the mystery of him and why he left, and the fact that this fucking witch blade is in his barn, and it's and that it's coming to life. It's coming to life. It's exact. Yeah.
It's definitely connected, and it's definitely a Sauron thing. And I don't know how connected or why connected they are.
And the fact that he doesn't say anything to anyone, you know, like, hey, wow, this blade just sucked the blood out of my wound and half reforged itself as a smoking hellblade.
Right.
It's like a kid finding an M80. I guess, yeah, if I was a 12-year-old and I found an M80, I wouldn't tell my parents because they'd take it from me. I want to get with my friends and light it up
your blood.
This is going to make a hell of a boom. I'm even more excited. I'm even more excited to light this fucker off. It just pulled my life force out and charged itself. Oh my God. I'm going to have to level a block with this thing.
Apparently.
No, yeah, I think I would like to think if I started hearing the black speech whispered into my ears, I was taken to a hell dimension and the thing started sucking my lifebloods out. As much as I wanted to see it lit off, I would tell my mom or dad, yeah, look, I got this thing. Yeah. But, teenage boys, man, let it be said. We're pretty fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. Rivaled only by the stupidity of a teenage girl. Like we're just real dumb. Just nothing but hormones and insecurity raging through that gray matter.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to the final scene here. Galadriel and Halbrand are found by someone. We don't get to see his face.
Nice looking boat though. Doesn't look like a Corsair. Not a worm, not a Corsair. Probably looking up.
I wouldn't know what a Corsair looks like, but
I always feel like their ships aren't that well maintained, and they got black sails. Mm-hmm. There were some gentleman pirates. Maybe this is a gentleman Corsair, but I'm getting respectable, and Galadriel passes out. Is it better be. Is it
possibly someone Elrond sent to find her? Or
I have thoughts and theories, but they're certainly informed speculation, so I'm not gonna.
Gadfly? What's the king's name?
Yeah, Gil Gadfly. That's his name.
Gil Gadfly.
Gilbert Godfrey.
Sure. Maybe
you see, Elrond. Sometimes he got. Yeah, I can't do. Yeah, he is. It's you're right. You can write whatever speech you want, Elrond. It's just when Gilbert gets his hands on it, it's not going to sound dignified.
It's true. All right, man.
Gil-galad. We finally get the right name out?
Gil-galad. Eventually, I'll memorize that, but not today.
I fucking love it. We got the lore hounds. We can if we get anything wrong, we can just say take it up with them. This is Mm-hmm. I feel very easy breezy. I'm just Good. I know enough to be dangerous. I got the real guys doing heavy lifting behind the scenes. Of course, the Lorehounds podcast will be out on this here feed next week on Monday. Giddy. Move.com had a vacation scheduled before this.
All right, what's up? Says I'm dropping a bunch of frames, and that can't be a good thing. So let's see. Dropping frames average. Settings output streaming. Alright. Okay, I already did that. My Gemini. Alright, cool. Okay. Whoa. Come on. No. I don't think that's it. Alright, let's try that again. Where is advanced? Advanced. Alright, whatever. Let's just see how bad it is. Cause it ain't gonna be good. It's biscuits, it's gravy, yeah. The Gemini. I lowered my bit rate, and that's way better, but let's see what YouTube thinks.
It's like, I don't understand how Shalab stung him through that mithril. Like, it doesn't seem like it should have. But anyway, I think what they're hinting at.
I get to with fantasy stuff, man. You got to be consistent.
You got to know what.
And you got to tell me what's going on.
Why is
I
it
can't just
quick?
assume, well, demons can penetrate this armor, and
That's high fantasy, baby. They like to keep it a little. But no, I always like he just goes on this little mini elf, dwarf elf rant, and it's super sweet together. Her playing the conciliatory here. She's even got. Did you know she got the skin skirt?
Oh, I have playback speed.
all right, Arondir makes his way through the tunnel.
Sweet.
For the last time.
Yeah, could be.
Wow. It really does suck that much. That's crazy. I can't play with 94 ping. Alright, let's see. Interesting. Whatever, it's unrated. Let's see how bad my shit is. How bad my shit is. Like, I want 0% drop frames, right?
Match found.
No one can hold their breath forever.
That Reyna won't hold back. I won't either.
Shields going up. Toxin screen down.
Go, go, go!
One enemy remaining. Flawless.
How did they sink this place?
Yeah, this is unplayable.
Look your enemy in the eye. It helps with accuracy.
I need someone to come be with me.